Shushka shaka or dry vegetables are not so very much favored because probably because the nutrient quantity dries up and it becomes totally difficult to handle. Like I pulled up this shloka from Charka Sutrasthana, which explains contraindicated foods that cannot be taken on a daily basis. So,
See, there are certain drugs, they are arranged, their Rasaguna Viripaka in such a manner that they can easily stimulate the doshas to increase. So that's the reason they have enlisted certain things and certain practices which are to be avoided, like Vallura, dried meat, fresh to be taken, but it is a dried meat, then it is also going to cause Vatavardhana. Similarly, Shushka Shaka, dry vegetables. We are nowadays many some noodles and something like that comes, which also contains some dried vegetables in that. Just pour the hot water, within few minutes things will be ready, and we have frozen materials available in the market like that. But all these are from the point of view of health, it is not good. It may even the bisar, the lotus root, it is also said that it should be taken fresh, it should not be taken dry. If it is dry, then it won't give you the expected result, but instead it may even give a wrong effect or the mal effect on the body. So one should be avoid all these things. Even there are kurchika, kilata, there are so many things mentioned in that yavaka. There all these things should be taken fresh. They should not be made dry. And if dried things are taken, then it is going to be cause dosha vardhakas. It increases the doshas.
Shushka Shaka is explained as one of the things which is to be avoided in Rakta Pitta. Probably it increases Pitta dosha, and also they are enlisted as a causative factor for hemorrhoids and enlisted as a Varjya for Shweta or inflammatory conditions. So, dried vegetables are not so ideal in healthy people to take. So.
But if you observe that, there are even exceptions for this also. Shushka Shaka is to be avoided and it should be always fresh, and Sarasa Yukta Dravyas should be taken in case of Shakas. Acharyas have even mentioned one thing important is Mulaka. We all consume Mulaka in its fresh state. But Acharya has mentioned, Sharangara mentioned that all drugs should be taken, all Shaka should be taken in a fresh condition, but Mulaka should be taken in dry condition. But we don't get a radish or the Mulaka in dry condition in the market. We have to bring that and make it dry for some days. Later it can be used, but by the time it may get spoiled. So it is a very typical things. See, these materials very easily gets rotten. But Acharya says there are exceptions, particularly radish. Mulaka has been given an example.
So they have clearly set two different rules for one for dry herbs and another for dry vegetables. In a way, they were very clear in their mind that the vegetables act based on their nutrition quotient or nourishing qualities, and herbs act purely based on rasaguna virabhaka to tell in Ayurveda terms, or with the phytochemicals. So the demarcation is very clear when they.
Demarcation is very clear because the reason is all shakas are consumed as food material, ahara dravyas. So definitely ahara dravya should be rasa pradana, that should be taken in fresh condition where the rasa is more prominently present in the shakas. Whereas the drugs which are used for medicine, they typically act based on their virya. So virya should be, if rasa and all these things becomes less than virya increases, then it will be good. So that's the reason maybe they are concentrated and divided these two things as a dry herbs in case of a medicine and a fresh shaka in the fruits in case of a nutritional point of view or ahara dravyas.
So what about refrigeration of vegetables, sir? Vegetables and fruits. It's so very common practice. Where to categorize it, whether as a dry herb or fresh herb?
Very typically, refrigeration is only the process what you have done to retain its freshness. See, many companies claim that we have developed such a box inside the fridge or the refrigerator which keeps your vegetables fresh even after many days. So intention is to keep them in a particular condition. To some extent, they may give rise to that, but still I have observed even these vegetables kept in a typical packets, zipped covers, and kept inside the fridge then they also lose their rasa and they'll also become dry. But their way of drying and the rapidness of the drying may be delayed because of the temperature there. But still, it is not fresh one. Once it is keeping fresh and many days are over, then we need to consider them in the dry category only, because even the too much of cold can also cause you dryness.